Hello friends, this is Otzdarva, and today I'm bringing you something quite special. My fellow YouTuber PVPSkilz and I have joined forces and we've put together a comprehensive guide that will help anyone become a better invader in Dark Souls 3. So as he would say, without further ado, let's jump straight into it.
Tip number 1. Know the mechanics. Invasions in Dark Souls 3 are more chaotic and unforgiving than any of the previous games. If you want to have a chance to succeed in your invasions, first, you're going to have to master some important game mechanics. As an invader, you should know how to manage your stamina so that you always have some left for last second dodges or additional attacks. Playing unlocked is very beneficial, especially when facing multiple opponents, as it will allow you to target them more accurately. Another important mechanic is the hyper armor frames. Some bigger weapons will allow you to poise through hits in a certain stage of their animation, so you should know how to use them, or at least be aware of them so they can be used against you. Invaders should also be perfectly capable of dodging through unconventional attacks, like certain sorceries, pyromancies, miracles, so on and so forth. If you want to stay alive, you're gonna need to know how to roll. You need to know how to roll through things like Crystal Soul Mass, Black Fire Serpent, and the different spells you're gonna be encountering in your PvP time. If you're having a tough time invading, or haven't started invading yet, consider doing some duels and get practice in all of these areas first.
Tip number 2. Consider the alternatives. Invasions can be fun, but they can also be very frustrating, and I don't know about you, but I get frustrated very easily. And the point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to invade, okay? They're just an option there. You can invade if you want, but it's not the only thing to do in the game. There's many other fun things to do, like pretending that you're a ghost in Aerithil, or using rapport on the enemies and watching them kill themselves. That's fun too, I guess.
Tip number 3. Prepare your arsenal. To be an effective invader, you're going to need a wide array of weaponry at your disposal. Having many different weapon types that you can switch on the go will make you a versatile invader able to counter different playstyles. You can use long-range spears to counter slow weapons, quick straight sword to counter spellcasters, or shield-piercing weapons to counter people who constantly hide behind shields. Every invader should have some of these items in their arsenal at all times. Number 1. A weapon that can dish out damage quickly. Number 2. A weapon with high critical damage. Number 3. A weapon that can chase opponents down. Number 4. A ranged weapon. And finally, number 5. A defensive tool. Now let's go over them individually. Dealing a lot of damage through regular attacks, backstabs, or riposte is essential to lower the health of your opponents before they have the chance to heal. However, there is a good chance that you won't be able to kill them immediately. So that's why you're going to be needing a weapon that can chase down people fast, or even a ranged weapon that can finish them off before they can get away. Of course, you don't need a different weapon for each of these points. For instance, if you use a Karthus Noob Sword, you already have a weapon that deals damage quickly and can chase opponents at the same time. If you're using the Twin Princess Greatsword, you already got decent damage output, good criticals, and the ability to use range attacks. The Hornet Ring can help you boost critical damage too. Even if you don't have the stats to wield big weapons, you can keep a Mail Breaker or a Lothric Knight Sword in your inventory. Last but not least, it's also a good idea to carry a shield or some sort of parrying tool. Invaders are usually on the offensive, but these tools can be very useful in certain situations.
Tip number 4. Ignore any distractions. If you want to be a PvP professional, you have to stick to the weapons that work. Sometimes you might be tempted to try other stuff that no one else is using, but you have to avoid this. One very effective way that I found to do this is to just get rid of everything that isn't a Karthus Corpse Sword or a washing pole. Whenever you pick up anything that isn't one of those weapons, just go ahead and discard it immediately. Also, if an NPC merchant doesn't sell any meta weapons, it's a good idea to just kill them as soon as possible before you buy anything accidentally.
Tip number 5. Prepare your tools. Knowing how to use the items effectively is just as important as knowing how to use your weapons. If you want to make your life easier as an invader, grab these items and learn how to use them well. Number 1. The Estus Flask. This seems like a no-brainer, but as an invader, you're probably going to be healing a lot. And since your Estus Flask is going to be halved, make sure you upgrade as much as possible unless you're heavily relying on magic. Don't carry any Ashen Estus Flask with you unless you know you're using magic or a weapon that relies on its weapon art. Other easy ways you can heal as an invader if you don't have Estus Flask left is to use your Priestess Chime, which has very low requirement of 10 faith. You can use its weapon art to regenerate your HP. You can pair that with the Blessed Offhand weapon and the Princess Ring, so that means you can heal even without Estus Flask. Number 2. The Undead Hunter Charm. This item prevents players from healing and is by far your best friend as an invader. It's hard to hit someone directly with it, but if you want to throw it in the ground next to them and they come anywhere near it, it will activate. You can only carry 5 of these chimes at a time and they last for a very short time, so make sure you use them carefully. Number 3. Situational Rings. Having a free ring slot is often a good idea for invasions. You can equip the Cat Ring to avoid fall damage in places like Grand Archives, or the Obscuring Ring to hide your approach in open areas like the Crucifixion ones. These can later be switched out to things like the Red Tearstone Ring once the fight has begun. Number 4. Situational Items. Consumable items are great. They don't have stat requirements or consume any focus points. There's just no reason not to carry a stack of young white branches, pine resins, throwing knives, or purple moss clumps. You can put these items in your hotbar or your belt slot of your inventory and you'll be ready for any situation.
Tip number 6. Be in control. Invasions in Dark Souls 3 often put you in situations where you really have no chance to succeed. After you've died 10 times to the same group of gankers, you're probably going to start to feel pretty powerless, but don't worry, there's actually a quick fix to avoid this. Wear the Calamity Ring. The Calamity Ring is not going to help you in invasions in any way. In fact, it's only going to make them harder. But hey, now that you're wearing it, if you lose, you can just tell yourself that it was just a challenge, and if you had tried hard enough, you could have probably have beaten them. And if you do win, well, that's a story you can tell your grandchildren. It's a win-win situation, really.
Tip number 7. Assess the situation. One of the most fascinating aspects of invading is that each invasion plays out differently. Similar to chess, when you come into someone else's world, the first thing you have to do is assess the situation. To do so, you can follow these steps. Number 1. Pay attention to the name of the host. The name of the host can tell you many things. First of all, if you already invaded the same host before, you'll have an idea what to expect this time. It can also help you to find out who the host is if there's a phantom wearing the untrue dark ring. Number 2, look out for this icon under your health bar. If you see this on your screen, that means that the host has used the seed of a giant tree and enemies in the world will attack you. Bear in mind that a host can use this at any time, so watch out for that. Number 3, look for clues to figure out the location of the host. Dead enemies, aggroed NPCs, open shortcuts, lit bonfires, or even things like the ballista in the smoldering lake area can tell you where the host of the world could be. Pay attention to these cues and find them. Number 4, figure out the host's intentions. Some of the people you will invade are just playing through the game, while others are actually waiting for you so that they can gank you with their summons. Adapt your strategies to what the enemy players are doing. Number 5, always strike at the perfect moment. If you manage to stay hidden, the element of surprise can be extremely important. Wait for the host at the spot where they'll be the most vulnerable and launch your offensive when they least expect it. There will be times when you come across other invaders too. If you manage to coordinate your attacks and support each other, you will have a much greater chance to defeat the host.
Tip number 8. Acquire the mindset. Frustration in Dark Souls 3 invasions is a little bit like a running attack from a washing pole. It's impossible to dodge, but sometimes you can do something to minimize its damage. To get into that invading mindset, what I like to do is basically go to Erithil and run through the middle of the city aggroing as many enemies as possible. After you have like 20 of them after you, it's time to turn back and try to attack them all at once. If you do this about 100 times, you should start to get used to the feeling of being fucked from every possible direction, and afterwards invasions won't really seem that bad. This process should leave you dead inside, but if afterwards you can still feel some sort of emotion, I recommend that you cover your entire controller with bubble wrap so that it doesn't break when you eventually throw it across the room.
Tip number 9. Be ready to punish. All players are prone to make mistakes from time to time. An invasion with multiple people fighting you all at once, a single mistake will often get you killed immediately. On the other hand, this is also true for other phantoms. As an invader, you will not get very far by playing passively all the time. If you want to be successful, you have to capitalize on the mistakes of your enemies. For example, if someone blocks all the time, break their freaking guard. If they're attacking constantly, parry the shit out of them. If they keep parrying all the time, go for the thrust backstab and fuck the shit out of them. And they heal in front of you or try to buff their weapon, punish them. Many players react in very predictable ways. If you're low in HP or if you're looking away from them, they will always try to attack you. But also if they are low in HP, they'll probably start to run away. Use this to your advantage. If someone's sneaking behind you, pretend you didn't see them until the last second. Instead of attacking someone who's running away, run towards them and punish them when they panic roll. If you know they're going to heal, pull out your bow and finish them off. If you manage to always be one step ahead of them, you can always come on top of any situation.
Tip number 10. Be a cunt. To be completely honest, all the tips you've seen so far are more or less useless and completely redundant. If you want to be successful in your invasions, the only advice that you ever have to follow is this one. Be a fucking cunt. Someone is AFK by the bonfire? Kick them off a cliff. Host is busy fighting some snakes? Team up with them and finish him off. Healing in front of your enemy and then one-shotting them with a Hornet Ring repose? Totally okay in my book. Oh, and if you ever come across a host with no summons, don't ever have pity for them. A lone host in Dark Souls 3 is a ganker who hasn't summoned yet. When you're an invader in this game, it's either kill or be killed. Most players would sell their grandmothers just to gain some sort of advantage over you, so whenever you get the chance, don't think about it twice and fuck their shit up. So yeah, I guess that with that we are done now.
Well, thanks Otzdarva for having me, and I look forward to working with you in the future.
Finally. What is wrong with him? Do you see that shit? He was having fun in invasions. I had to put him out of his misery.